Firstly, when we talk about families changing, families don't operate in isolation. They are part of society. And so anything which is happening within the broader society in which we exist is going to have an impact on families. So, for example, in countries where there is a large proportion of the population which may be forced by economic events or political unrest or wars or whatever to move to other places, that will impact itself directly on families. And certainly in the World Congresses that I've attended, there have been people who've been affected by the changes in their families as a result of that type of disruption. But there are many other things which are going on, which in a sense apply right throughout the world. For example, there's no doubt that the technological revolution, the internet revolution, has a big impact on families. I would say substantially diminishing the influence of parents on children. And I think this is an issue that most parents grapple with. How do I handle the impact that things like Facebook and Twitter have on my children? Even the impact of mobile phones is quite significant on the way that families work. They enable much more rapid communication, but they also ensure, I would suggest, that other influences, including peer group influences, become a good deal more important in the environment which children have than they perhaps had 20 or 30 years ago. So technology is an important driver, in my view, of what is happening to families and to family life. Separately from that, I think there are very big economic changes. There's no doubt that globalisation as an economic phenomenon is also having an impact on families. It certainly is, because we see in countries like Australia, manufacturing industries have been largely exported overseas. So many of the jobs which previously existed and which people had have simply disappeared. So there are changes in our society that way. And this impacts itself on families, because many families, the main income earners, may even be in industries which are simply going out of existence. And that also has an impact on families. How does the World Congress of Families address that? Well, I think firstly what it does is it talks about it, so that people, instead of thinking this is happening just to me, they understand it is not. It is a phenomenon across society and in fact across the world. So what it does is it means that some of these new challenges which we see facing families, you get a lot of the best minds around the world talking about them and saying, and how do we address that so that families can continue to perform the function, the essential function, which they have always performed, which is basically to ensure that there is a sort of a strong, nurturing and loving environment for children to grow up in, providing security so that they're able to become sort of good, well-adapted, well-functioning adults in the future and form families of their own, which in many ways are able to incorporate some of these challenges, but also in some cases to resist some of the adverse effects of them.